I do your dad for a living. Okay? He knows it. They knows it. Everybody knows it, okay?
So my husband and I started our OnlyFans in September of 2020. It was during the pandemic. My husband actually got furloughed from work. He worked for the airlines. And at that time, we were kind of stuck at home, couldn't really go out, have any entertainment. And so I started doing craft beer reviews on my Instagram. And so I had a pretty decent little following of like 3,000 people. And they would always recommend that I start an OnlyFans. And we didn't know what it was or that it was, especially didn't know it had anything to do with adult content. And so then, a big story broke out about Bella Thorne making $1 million in like 6 hours. And we were kind of like, oh, that's the platform. And so once we heard that, it was kind of like, we should probably check this out. And then, from there, kind of started posting some little more racier stuff than Instagram and a few more photos here and there. And it just took off. My small fan base at the time, and then all my fan base on the Chive, everybody just started flocking there. And we made a ton of money our first month, which made it kind of hard to ignore at that point.
What effect do you think COVID had on people subscribing to you?
During the pandemic, everyone thought, well, people were off work, they didn't have a lot of money, but yet OnlyFans really flourished and it turned itself into $1 billion industry. And so it makes you wonder, like, how is that, in terms of subscribers and spending money? But I think it was a cheap form of entertainment. You have a subscription on your page for $12 and kind of could sit at home, you spend $12 and you got like a whole night of content, if that's how you choose to spend your time. But I think, that was something that it was probably a lot cheaper to do that than it was to go previously blow $120 over dinner at the bar.
What sort of content brings in the main money? Is it pictures? Is it videos? Is it certain acts?
Content of my husband and I engaged in sexual acts, whether that be foreplay or even full on sexual acts. I obviously sell solo content as well. I try to do a lot of different things. Never hid the fact that I'm married. I always play up the hot, sexy wifey vibes, so it's kind of like if you're there, you're into that.
Do you have any underperforming type of content or service that you would like to see doing better?
Feet content is a really big deal. Obviously, it's a huge fetish. I never have personally understood it. I don't even know how to photograph them very well, but I have a crap ton of people that want this content. And so when I put it out, it doesn't generally perform well because obviously it's a niche market. But it's something that I wish could evolve more for me because it's kind of fun now that I've learned feet can be sexy. I have a lot of really, really unique fetishes that I've come across. I have this one dude that's obsessed with my thumbs because they're super bendy. This is so crazy, but it's so cool to know you can create content with just your thumbs and make money. So yeah, that stuff's typically the underperforming, but to me it's fun.
So I was wondering if you could talk about sort of what you made per month at your height and what you're making now, if you're comfortable saying that.
So I've had a lot of press. My story went viral. I would say my height month, I made $469,000. I actually sustained that to the next month. I was like $413,000. So the money stayed for a little bit. I mean, obviously that was a skewed number, but it really depends on how much content you put out. If I drop 4 videos this month, there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to be over 250,000 or at least to upper 220s. If I drop 2 videos, I'm going to be at like that 180 mark. So it really just depends on how much content. And sometimes I have months where I have a lot of interviews and I'm just like, I don't really want to make a lot of content this month, or I can't, or I don't have time. And so my number may be in that mid 150s. But for me, it's anywhere, if I did pretty much nothing, I'm going to be anywhere from $150,000 a month.
How are you changing your strategy to sort of fit in with the reality of what's going on with the world and the economy?
Well, when I started OnlyFans, I always knew that this is anything that has to do with being a fan community, that this is something that may not last forever. And so there's a business entrepreneur side of me. And therefore, I never looked at OnlyFans as going to be my only stream of income. I mean, I left my doctorate degree on the table. I was supposed to be doing research. I did not pursue that. I left a lot on the table to make this work. And so for me personally, I've always had different endeavors and tried to make sure that I'm maximizing income streams and diversifying my income in the event that something was to go wrong. During the pandemic, it was very easy to probably create an OnlyFans. Everything was booming and make pretty decent money. But in order to sustain that, you're going to have to switch it up and do something different. You're going to have to be on multiple platforms. You're going to have to be doing the TikTok, even though you hate it, to continue to drive that traffic and bring personality to your product. And I think that has been the golden ticket for me is why I have done so well is that I am more than just selling my OnlyFans all the time. You will rarely hear me sell it.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our Narcity channel to see more content just like this.